Giovanini, Barr,
Here.
Gill,
Here.
S. Horner,
Here.
Causer,
Here.
A. Horner,
Here.
Rainbolt,
Here.
Bradshaw, Howard,
Here.
Willie.
Here.
Thank you. Since it's the first meeting of the month, I will call the meeting of the Civic Center Authority to business, and with no business, I will close that meeting at this time. And we have 5 items on the consent agenda. Is there any discussion or questions on those 5 items? With none, I would entertain a motion. Motion by Barb Howard, second by Jerry Causer to accept. Roll call, please.
Barr,
Yes.
Gill,
Yes.
S. Horner,
Yes.
Causer,
Yes.
A. Horner,
Yes.
Rainbolt,
Yes.
Howard,
Yes.
Willie.
Yes.
Thank you. Our first item on the regular agenda is approval of the TIF roof rehab grant at 705 Mead Street. And Greg will provide us some information on that, please.
Yeah, so 705 Mead is Heidi Reiners who's present, and just a quick overview of the plan here. According to the cover page, they are their roof repair is about $7,400, and so the max grant is $6,600. They've got their quote from Greif's, who is in town here, so we only require the one quote. And we did go out and do our pre-inspection. They had a couple of issues that needed to be resolved, and as of Friday, they were all resolved. And so it is my recommendation that we do grant the Reiners the max of $6,651.
Any questions? If not, I would entertain a motion, please.
Make a motion.
Motion by Mike Barr, second by Chan Gill. Roll call, please.
Gill,
Yes.
S. Horner,
Yes.
Causer,
Yes.
A. Horner,
Yes.
Rainbolt,
Yes.
Howard,
Yes.
Willie,
Yes.
Giovanini,
Yes.
Barr.
Yes.
Thank you. Heidi, I'm sure Greg will get information to you now on what to do moving forward, so thank you.
Does that make 5 now? 4.
That makes,
2, was this 4?
this was the 4th one. Yep.
Nice.
Yeah.
Very good.
Okay, item B, approval of the TIF 1 redevelopment agreement with Barnard at 316 North Mill Street. And I'm guessing that Jim is taking
Yes,
this.
sure. Yep, I've been speaking with Eric Barnard, who's the owner of the Mill Street Tap at 316 North Mill. We've been actually talking for a while about doing some improvements in the back of the building. There's an old elevator shaft, if you look back there, and the siding is old. And Eric has gone out and put together some, you have in your packet an image of what the redevelopment is going to look like. And so we talked about, because this is more than just a facade, we talked about a $50,000 rehabilitation maximum grant, like a facade grant, but we framed it in the framework of a redevelopment agreement because it is more than a facade. In the meantime, the construction that we have going on has been progressing, and the time is such that we don't want his construction to be having heavy equipment on new construction we just made. So we're trying to get this to marry up with each other. And so that also required Mr. Barnard to make a down payment already that would have been covered had this grant been in place. So if you look through the grant, what you'll see is that in essence, the short term of it is he has his estimate from GBL, which is after the photo, and we would grant him up to $50,000 for this work that's lined up in this proposal at the rate of 75% city, 25% him, because he's already made a pretty substantial investment that, like I said, would have been on the grant had we been able to get to this sooner. And so we would like to move forward with this redevelopment agreement, and then he can get the construction going and get this done prior to Centennial Plaza being completed and the city's work being completed. So if you take a look through it, if you have any questions, in essence, we're saying that up to 75%, the city will reimburse him 75% of his expenses. And again, it's a reimbursement grant, so he'll spend the money first. And then there's the only other caveat to that that's different from a facade grant would be that we could also make a payment prior to his completion of the project, but no more than 25%. So as he's spending money, he could get up to 25% of the grant paid before the final project. And that will just help move that project along quicker.
Does anybody have any questions?
And then 25% will be guaranteed payments will be made from it, or how's that work?
Yeah, so he would pay, show us that he's made payments, and then we would reimburse him up to 25% of the project. He's already spent it, but yeah, so 25% of, let's just say that by the time we're done, that he is going to use $50,000. So the max he would get ahead of time would be 25% of 50,000. So
If by chance he doesn't finish the project, is there a clawback in giving him the money up front like this?
So, well, I'm hoping he completes that project, but I'm trying to remember if we have it. We can for surely make sure that that's in there.
And this is TIF, right?
Correct.
And is this a unique way that we've used TIF?
No, this is
Nice.
just a redevelopment agreement. No different really, other than this is not a building that we bought and then are selling for a project. Yeah, this is just minus the sale. We've done other redevelopment agreements for work. And typically, like I said, the redevelopment agreement is different than a facade grant, only in the fact that some of the work isn't facade work. So there's that patio would not be facade, and that the deck stuff that he's working.
Okay.
Yeah.
Anybody else? If not, I would entertain a motion.
I'd say yes.
Would that motion include the
The-
added language of the repayment in case
Yeah.
project not completed on time?
Okay, motion by Barr, second by Sarah Horner. Roll call, please.
S. Horner,
Yes.
Causer,
Yes.
A. Horner,
Yes.
Rainbolt,
Yes.
Howard,
Yes.
Willie,
Yes.
Jovanini,
Yes.
Barr,
Yes.
Gill.
Yes.
Okay.
And
Thank
just
you.
as a sidebar, is that, he's trying to get ahead of the construction there on Centennial Plaza, and are we gonna talk about that later on, or are we moving on schedule with that?
Centennial Plaza?
Yeah,
It's moving. I think it's a little bit behind schedule because of waiting on NICOR and ComEd, but it is moving, and I think
we'll make it.
yeah,
Not to May 1st.
not by May 1st, no. I
Okay.
think by the end of the contract was June. So that's, the hope is that we don't have to extend past that.
So there you go, Mr. Barnard. We have approved, and I'm excited that you're improving the back of that building personally. So, good luck.
Nice.
And Eric, I'll get that amended and over to you to sign.
Item C is, we have a presentation by Carol Winters about the Pontiac water taste and smell. So Carol, take it away. I believe she's given all of us a document about part of her presentation as well. You should all have that in front of you.
And if you don't, there's some extras on the table.
Oh, yeah.
All right, my name is Carol Winters.
Carol, one
and-
second. We will be taking public comment on this subject only after Carol is finished.
Okey-doke.
Thank you.
All right, I hope I can represent a lot of people's viewpoints tonight. It's very difficult for citizens to gather enough courage to come and approach and talk to things that bother them. So tonight, this PowerPoint is called "A Challenge to City Council to be Informed, to Act, and to Educate Residents," concerning the taste and smell of Pontiac water. Now, I hope I just get on the tip of the iceberg for some of you. Some of you will tell me, my water is fine. And some of you will tell me, my water is awful. And I hope that I'll address that tonight. I want a disclaimer. I am not a water treatment plant manager. I've never been trained. There are people that are trained in this. I am a retired English teacher, but I'm good at research. And I think I have found factual information from reliable sources, and I have included my sources in here so that you know that it's not some crazy watchdog group or whatever. And I want you to know why I'm here. A lot of people come to this city council and they have an axe to grind. All right, I don't. I have a pocket knife to grind. All right. Now, what happened is this. Right before Thanksgiving, I had my grandkids, and there's 3 little girls. This is Aaron's kids, for those of you that know Aaron, and the middle child is Clara. She's 6, she's a kindergartner. They had stayed for several days, and I said, it's bath time. And I'm the cool grandma. I have the bath bombs that turn into unicorns. I have the Nerf bath guns. I have foam soap that can go up to the ceiling, and Clara turned to me and said, I don't want a bath. I don't want to smell. All right? And I thought to myself, what? You know, here's all these fun things, and this kid's telling me she won't take a bath. So I had to bribe her with a full-size Hershey bar, and this kid hasn't had that much chocolate in her entire life. All right? So it was a pretty big deal. And when they left, I started thinking about things. Clara actually inspired me. And I started making lemonade, and I tasted it, and it tasted weird, all right? I sniffed my clothes that had been washed and dried, and they smelled like a combo between rotting cucumbers and Downy. And I thought to myself, does my eye doctor think I stink? Because this stuff smells. All right, I checked my dog's water bowl. It smelled like moldy cucumbers. And in conclusion, I felt somebody has to do something. And so that's why I'm here. All right, I have made several calls to Illinois American Water and the EPA, and I've learned a lot. Okay, I would like not only you in City Council to know this, but I would like people out in video land to know, never call customer service unless it's the number that's listed here, 217-377-4764. And here's why. If you call that number and you think it's a Pontiac office, you might not get the Pontiac office. In fact, I thought I had the Pontiac office. I talked to this woman and I said, I want to make a complaint about the water. And she goes, why? And I said, well, my water smells and stinks. And she goes, ours doesn't. And I said, doesn't your water in your office smell? She goes, no. Haven't you ever had any complaints? No. And I thought, I'm crazy. So I posted on Facebook, and I said, has anybody else complained? Has anybody else had problems with their water? And lots of people were on both sides of the situation. And I thought, yeah, this is just weird. So I called the Pontiac office again. This time, I got Missouri, all right? And Missouri told me that my first call was to New Jersey. Evidently, they track the routing that they do. So I thought, wow. So I was talking to New Jersey here. No wonder they don't care about my water. So Missouri was very open and honest. And I said, hey, I want to talk to to a real person. I want to talk to a supervisor. I want to talk to somebody that has power. And if I don't get this person, I'm going to call you every day until I die. All right, so they gave me a number, and I didn't even have to call it. The woman in Champaign-Urbana called me back the next day. All right, now, we have to pause here just a minute. First of all, you cannot talk to anyone at the Pontiac Water Treatment Plant. If you call there, because there is a number listed, you get the sewage treatment plant, and those people tell you, call this 800 number. If you call that 800 number, it's customer service, and you're going to end up talking to New Jersey again. So don't do that. It was a big waste of time. If you complain, call only this number, and that's what the Champaign office told me. You must complain. If they don't hear anything, they think our water is just fine, and they're happy to go ahead. And the more people that complain, the bigger priority we have that somebody will do something about our water. So I want to urge people to take the initiative to make the phone call. All right, they told me that the Pontiac treatment plant is constantly testing the water, and I believe that. I would hate to be that person that is in charge of the Pontiac treatment plant. This is from me. This is the only thing in this whole PowerPoint that I have said. It's my opinion. Just because the water passes testing doesn't mean it's safe to drink. And by the time I finish, I think you'll understand why I made that statement. Now, according to Illinois American Water, they said the Pontiac's problem is something we all know. Low water, not much rain, droughts, wintertime, summertime, all that. And I think as a community, we know that. We've been kind of lulled into being complacent. We just figure it'll rain sooner or later and things will be fine. All right? Not that easy. They also said that organic matter is in the water, and I want you to underline the word organic. What does that mean? What exactly are they referring to? Farm fertilizers causes a problem. And you know, if I was a farmer, I would want to know to what degree is farming chemicals actually polluting the water. But I don't think anybody could tell you that. Chemicals from runoff, algae blooms. If you do not, if you talk to American Water, they will not use the term algae blooms. All right, they use the term organic. All right, but if you go to the EPA, they use the terms algae blooms. And what that is scum. It's that green, cruddy stuff on the water. And you don't see a lot of it where the boat ramp is, but if you go upstream, you will find it there, all right? The EPA will talk about algae blooms. They don't have any problem with that. So it's hard to regulate the water with chemicals. And let me tell you why. Say Kelly lives in a subdivision that runs a lot of water, a lot of families, a lot of kids, whatever. Her water tastes great. But my water, where I'm in a dead-end street, there's only about 6 houses, and my water is awful, all right? When I get out of the shower, I smell, all right? And they did not flush all the hydrants that they usually do this winter because of the weather. So that's a problem too. Let's see, turn the page, all right? According to the residents, what is the problem here? This is according to what people have texted me, people have said on Facebook. So it is citizens' viewpoint. Pontiac residents state that water tastes like rotting cucumbers, fishy, muddy, musty, and my favorite, toady. All right, like a dead frog. All right, people are buying water, and we already pay for the water. And you know, there's a lot of residents in Pontiac that just are eking by that the economy is really awful, and for these people to have to spend one extra dime, it hits their budget. Restaurants sell drinks and food that taste odd. I got one from a fast food place the other day, I threw it out. The Cup and Scone is even selling water, and I hear it's really cheap, so good on them. All right, patients with cancer have to buy water because it's not recommended to drink our water. And I have a letter from someone who texted me. This is Cheryl Miles, and this is what she asked me to tell you. She's at work tonight. Since moving here in July 2014, I have noticed a decline in the quality of the water in Pontiac. Our water either smells like fish, cucumbers, and smells not drinkable. We have a water softener, but it's ineffective against the fish and cucumber smell. I was diagnosed with stage 2 colorectal cancer in October 2025, and I am currently going through treatment. At times, the water smell is so horrid that I can't drink it and buy jugs of water. When my immune system is compromised, I don't want to drink the water. It can harm me. Our water company so far has turned a blind eye to our water issues, which is frustrating when the quality is subpar and can be harmful to anyone drinking it. And she said, thank you for letting me speak through Carol tonight. Hopefully we can all get Illinois American Water to listen to us. All right. Some villagers say the water makes them sick. Some residents say their dogs and cats won't even drink it. People's clothes smell from being washed, and when a person comes out of the shower, you smell like moldy cucumbers. People are paying for undrinkable water. Now, I put the word aesthetic in here, and this is important because if you wanted to make some legal action, and we had signed a contract that said Illinois American Water has aesthetic water. What it means is beauty is in the eye of the beholder. Let's say that John has wonderful water. He likes it a lot. Let's say mine is horrible. All right, so the judge is going to say, hey, you know, kind of depends on who's drinking it. And you're never going to win a lawsuit unless you have contaminants in it, even though you can sue about the taste and smell of water. So that is a problem, and that is something that, if it is in our contract, we should probably remove it. All right, more points. Some people argue, just buy a filter. All right, and you can get cheap filters, and they will do a relatively good job on the taste and smell. Brita is recommended. If you have a water ice maker on your refrigerator, going through that will be helpful. However, if you want one for, say, all of your drinking water in your house, it's going to cost you around $1,500. If you want one that covers your bathtub and your washer and all that, it could be $3,000. They could put in a filtration system that won't work, and you're still going to have to pay for it because it just depends what your water is like. So I want to caution those people that say, well, I just buy water and it's fine. Well, bottled water is questionable too. And let me give you an example. There's actually several examples online. This is from classaction.org. All right, in 2025, Nadell versus Primo Water Corporation, Florida sued Mountain Valley Spring Water over carcinogens in the bottled water. They had uranium, arsenic, and bromoform, which causes kidney problems. No one was safe for that consumption. Yet the water company for bottled water advertised it as free of pollutants, exceptionally helpful, And the case has not been litigated yet, so I can't tell you what will happen there. We give water to Illinois American Water to be clean. The company does not make it water drinkable, and then they charge us. So how's that work? The IAW contract needs to be looked at. Dialogue with the council needs to happen. Residents want to feel that the city council cares about our drinking water and be open to our concerns. Now, what did the water quality organization say when I called them? Illinois American Water said the water problem affects the entire city. No one in this room is immune to it. Even if your water tastes good, you could have contaminants in it. We don't know what some of those contaminants might be. And you could be in a subdivision that uses a lot of water and your water tastes great. All right? Maybe you're in a subdivision where you've got newer pipes. Well, you're lucky too. But the city is getting old and they have old pipes. So a lot of this stuff can stay in the pipes. A lot of the algae bloom stuff can stay in the pipes and remain there and cause a problem. The IAW also said, our water comes from the river, water retention ponds, and sometimes both. Now that's a problem because if you were going with water in the river, but then you have to use the water in the reservoirs, the water in the reservoir is different than the water in the river, so it takes different chemicals. So then it's tricky. That's why I would never want to be a water treatment person. All right. The IAW stated that the smell and taste is the product of low water in the river, which we know, okay, a high concentration of organic compounds, and chemical feed problems. Now, chemical feed means that the water treatment plant has to add chlorine, I don't know what else they add, but that will cause a buildup of chemicals also, and that will be a problem. I am recommended that, and this woman in Champaign, she was great. She didn't dodge one question. She said that the important people in Pontiac should call the people with power at the Champaign office. And write that down because the city has had a contract with IAW. And this is from AI. That was the only way I could find that. All right, so I know a lot of people don't like AI, can't believe AI, but I kind of bought it. All right, when I called the Illinois EPA, and they are also in Champaign. And the funny thing is, the Illinois EPA doesn't know that American Water has Champaign office. They go, really? So I think they should know that. So now they do. The Illinois EPA registered surprise that no one had contacted them. They go, how long has this been going on? And I said, most of the winter. And they go, really? How come nobody calls us? Well, it's not readily known where they're at. The phone number's not readily known. And they were equally surprised. Actually, they were kind of like, what? That restaurants, the water that they served would sometimes smell funny depending on what restaurant where. All right, they also registered dismay that residents were purchasing water. They go, that's not right. And I believe that. They said that they would call the Pontiac plant, which I know is not the Pontiac plant, but the IAW Pontiac plant, and set up a time to test the water. Now, I think that's crummy because they tell them, hey, we're coming on Tuesday. So, you know, I'd make sure that my water that was going to be tested on Tuesday was from the good place. So, the EPA stressed people need to call them as well as IAW when there is stinky water, and you need to call 217-278-5800. That is Champaign-Urbana. The EPA can monitor problem areas and even fine people due to non-compliance. All right. How to find out about Pontiac water reports. Good luck. All right. I have not found one yet. Kelly and I looked at one that was only about Chicago, and it was only about fish dying. I emailed Illinois American Water, haven't heard back from them. You do need to know that we are District 5, Region 19, and supposedly you can download a report, but the only one was the Chicago one. And I went to the EPA trying to do the same thing to find out the Livingston County report, and they had one, but it was from 2018. So, whoa, that's a long time ago. I think you can call Illinois American Water, and they say they will send you a report. I can't verify that because I didn't do it. All right. We have a website we can go to with Illinois American Water. And if you do, like in the middle of winter, I did, and they said, emergency alert. And I thought, what? Do we have an emergency in Pontiac? And so I called them again and I said, hey, what's the emergency alert in Pontiac? And they go, nah, that just means the weather is too cold to send anybody out, and that if you had a broken water main, they would talk to you. But they're not going to talk to you if you're just going to say, my water smells. So you can see these emergency alerts, but they don't tell you anything because they say, we are experiencing technical difficulty. Well, what the heck does that mean? I don't know. I'm imagining it's a chemical problem at the plant, but that would be an assumption on my part. I don't know. I do want you to know that I learned if the emergency alert says boil your water, do that. If it does not say boil your water, don't think that you're beating the system and boil your water anyway, because that can create more nitrates. So if you're not told, don't do that. All right? And it can make you sick. What happens if there's poor quality water? You can call and talk to the Champaign office. I'm going to tell you honestly, if you get this young man in that office, hang up. That kid is new and he's not from Illinois, and he takes down all your questions and he never gets back to you. Say you want to talk to the woman. By calling the EPA office in Urbana, people can find enforcement compliance histories online. And you've got to click on Livingston County, and it's amazing. It has anybody that's ever had a water problem, who they are, they name names. And you can find out who might be having contaminants in the water and are having to be guided. The EPA can monitor businesses for years, if need be. They can require timeline testing, where they have to test maybe 5-6 times a week. They can fine companies and towns. 9 states have fixed water problems by working with the EPA. Another thing Pontiac could investigate. Now, the key aspects of water quality complaints are aesthetic issues, and they will tell you the smell and the odor is a temporary thing. However, if you look online, complaints have been lodged in 2020, 2022, 2024, 2020, 2025, 2026. It's not temporary. I think we know that. I think if you lived here for a long time, you knew the water was much higher at one time. It's not anymore. And who knows why? Global warming, warmer winters, I don't know. And I think you're coming to the conclusion that there's a lot of questions here and a lot of things we don't know. And there's a lot of things that we should learn about to learn the basics. All right, the prison is actually a part of the Pontiac treatment plant. Now those folks, if you look online, and this one is a watchdog group. This one is, oh, wait a minute, this one is not a watchdog. This one came from WGLT, which I think is a radio station in Bloomington. They reported that the prison, which the problem stems from the fact that it was created in ancient times and their pipes are really, really, really old, that their water is oily, black, brown, that health problems from inmates say that stomach problems, migraines, most workers bring their own water, and the IAW still states that it's compliant with safety standards. Now, there is a story there of why their water is oily, black, or brown. But I couldn't substantiate it, so I'm not going to tell you, all right? But it has to do with the viewpoint from the prisoners. Infrastructure and treatment. IAW says issues are harmless algae-related compounds and uses activated carbon to treat them. They say some residents complain to them there's too much chlorine. That if you have good tasting water and I have bad tasting water and they have to dump a bunch of chlorine in the whole plant in order to help me, well then we're going to over-chlorinate other people. So it's a real tricky dance, and I would hate to be in that treatment center every day trying to tweak it to figure out that everybody is happy. All right, now that was all the good news. Let me share with you the bad news. And this is difficult into itself. The IEPA considers the Vermilion River susceptible to pollution from agriculture, cities, and industries. Okay, we kind of get that, we know that. This is the watchdog group. EWG, Environmental Working Group, has said there is highlighted elevated disinfection byproducts, chlorine interacting with organic matter in Illinois. But it doesn't say where in Illinois. It could be us, it could be Chicago, who knows? Residents have reported to this group of swampy and sewage taste in water 2020, 22, 2025, 2026. Because it complies with legal regulations, concerns have been focused on long-term health guidelines and immediate aesthetic issues. Now, this is where we have to talk about forever chemicals. Forever chemicals are things that stay in the body, stay in animals' bodies, and build up over time. And they can create kidney cancers, they can create long-term diseases, but nobody knows for sure. And this is why nobody knows, because it's long-term forever chemicals. And if you go to the EPA website right now, EPA is actually looking into this and they're starting research. But they don't have enough research to be able to definitively say, oh, 3 years, you're in trouble. Or, gee, not as bad as we thought. So that's a problem. Now, one of the major things they cite is that our fireman uses the foam, and I don't know if, do we have a fireman in here?
Yep. Chief's back there.
Oh, good. Do you use foam to fight fires?
We do.
All right.
Very rarely, but sometimes.
Okay. Do you, have you been warned that it could be toxic?
We do not use the conduct for referencing.
Yeah. All right. He's an example of our forever chemicals. So, I appreciate the input. All right. It's very, very difficult to monitor. Here's why it's difficult to monitor. Although we know the firemen say yes on occasion, we use the foam, but thousands of chemicals are actually considered forever chemicals. So how do you know if you get kidney cancer that it's from organic foam, or maybe it's from a disinfectant, or maybe it's from chlorine, or maybe it's from chlorate, because there's thousands of them. If you look at your shampoo bottles and it has all these listings of chemicals, it's a deal. All right? Second big problem. These algae blooms, they are rapid, they have dense accumulation, they have, I don't know how you say this, I think it's cyanobacteria in aquatic ecosystems triggered by phosphorus and nitrogen, warm water, calm conditions. Our water's not moving. And we know that our water is not moving like it did. If you look down by the Lutheran Church, you know, you see those islands down there. Our water is not deep enough to move. All right, and if you see scum, that's a real problem. Don't boat through it. Don't eat fish from it. And here's why. Because algae blooms can be toxic or not. However, they are identical. And the only way you can tell if those algae blooms are the toxic type is if you have them chemically tested. So it's really scary. Like, we own a boat, we haven't boated in a long time, but we used to go through that scum. It's like, what? You know, and that scum, you can tell if it's toxic, if it's that pea soup color, if it's blue-green, if it's just green, if it's yellow with white streaks, if it has a foul odor, if you stick a stick in it and kind of wraps around it like paint, scary. Don't. And if your dog goes down into that water and gets that scum on him, wash it off immediately. All right, it's not enough that algae blooms are a problem in itself. However, they block sunlight from underwater plants and consume the oxygen in the water, creating dead zones which kill fish and other organisms. But here again, some algae blooms might do this, some may not. All right, it said, don't eat the fish. Then it said, you could eat the fish, but wait for 5 to 7 days. What? I'm gonna keep a carp around for 5 to 7 days? That doesn't seem right, all right? So I'm not eating the fish there. I can't tell you definitively eat the fish or not, but one person did tell me they caught this big, huge bass and they threw it out because they wouldn't eat it. Exposure to blooms have cyanin toxins within hours can cause nausea, vomiting, diarrhea, cough, wheezing, skin, eye, throat problems. So we're on the last page. This is the moral of the story. All right. The number one thing we can do is have our important people talk to their important people. I don't even know who the important people in Champaign are, but evidently they have some. And we can say, we're unhappy with the smell and taste of our water, and see what they say. And that's a good beginning. All right? We need to hold people in power accountable. That's why I'm here today. It's really hard to come and talk to you folks, because half of you will end up being my kid's softball coach, and we don't want to tick you off. All right? You know what a small town is all about, and that's why you don't want to make enemies. You want to get along. You want to have, and I'll tell you, 8 years ago, I came here when Bob Carls was the city administrator, and I was talking about the fact that they lock the parks in the wintertime. Chris might remember this. So they unlocked the parks, which was great. However, to this day, Bob Carls crosses the street every time he sees me. Because you don't want to It makes you feel bad, right? That somebody doesn't even want to look in you. If I see him in the grocery store, he starts studying the can of peas, just very, very importantly. And that's what happens when you criticize people in a small town. And I don't think most of the people in our town mean what they say or say what they mean. And I know I would never want to be any of you guys, because you get it from all sides. Because you have one person who doesn't like what you've said, and they will tell their neighbors. And pretty soon it'll get back to you. All right? It's hard to be you. It's hard to know what's the right thing to do for the right people. But I think more than anything, if you try something, and if you're transparent, and if you say, look, this was the best idea we could come up with. This is what we tried. It may work, it may not. I don't think anybody's going to take you to task for that. That's an honest attempt, and I think we're all pretty good with that. We want you to be educated. We want you to educate others. Use that nice little sign out there. Meeting tonight about water. All right, go to the Illinois American website and read the actions residents can take. Now, I think this one was funny. If you go to the Illinois American website, first of all, it changes all the time. You have to go every day, because half the stuff that's on there on Monday is gone on Tuesday. And the stuff on Wednesday said, the real water problem is all you guys, the stuff in your house is making your water taste and smell bad. Now, I don't buy that either, because it's our whole town. Read information from the Illinois Environment Protection Agency website. Watch out for emergency alerts. Many sites remind you just because water meets requirements, it may not be safe. And that's that forever chemical thing, that's that algae bloom thing, that's a ton of other chemicals that we don't even know that's in that water. And I tried my best to find out what is true and what isn't true, and honestly, I can't tell you. Because everything is so evasive, and use words like organic or algae blooms are terrible except for the ones that aren't. Stuff like that. It's real hard to determine. So we want to be proactive, not reactive. Now here's the beauty. Yesterday, I went back on Illinois EPA site, and there is a $1.5 million grant in funding for energy efficient upgrades at public water facilities. I don't know. Do we qualify if it's actually American Water's facility? But if we do, dang, we should get that. However, that one, you have to apply by May 1st. There is also $40 million in grants to study emerging contaminants in small disadvantaged communities. That's us. I think we'd win. And I would offer to you that if you need somebody to write your grants, I have a lot of experience with that. I can bullshit with the best of them. All right? So, and we all know that's what grants are all about. It's how persuasive you could be. And a lot of these TIF grants, they don't care who they give it to. They just got to get rid of it. All right? So you can kind of play with this and factor in something for tourism, but then also get, a Civil War statue along with it. It's just how you word it, how you play it, how you use the money. So, do we have any questions? I know John wants to speak yet too. Anything?
The $40 million, it was to study what again?
Emerging contaminants in small or disadvantaged communities.
Thank you.
all right? I would like to recommend that you take the water problem out of the infrastructure committee, because the committee has to do too many big things. Get some enthusiastic residents to be on that committee, along with people who feel passionate about it too. Start checking into things, making sure we start with our important people, talk to their important people, that we start, maybe a visit to the treatment plant would be good. Maybe we need to take a boat sail down the river and see, what do we see down there? You know, do we see, I know in the wintertime, we would walk our dog down in Chautauqua and we would see dead fish on the banks. I assumed it was because of the weather. I don't know. There's a lot of things I don't know, as you've heard tonight. So, anybody, anything else?
You've given us a lot of good information, Carol. Thank you for the time you've invested in this.
All right.
For coming to speak
All
to
right.
us.
I'm really glad that you folks are receptive to this. I want you to know that 69 people liked my complaint about the stinky water. And that's a lot of people in Pontiac to come forward and say this. You know, I haven't seen that many people vote on the same thing since they were going to close down the prison. And I bet you there was about 60 people that showed up for that meeting. So thank you so much for allowing me to speak my piece tonight and for such a long time. Kelly and I have had some very good conversations. I appreciate that. All right. So thank you all.
Thanks, Carol. Public comment on this subject now. Carol, you mentioned John that, oh, okay. Please state your name and address.
Hi, Matthew Pesta, 707 South Locust. I want to piggyback on what Carol said on a few items here. The algae blooms definitely are caused by farmers. You guys should be tracking that. Asking a median household income area of $61,000 to all purchase whole home filters so that we may be free of contaminants during shower and bathing, which is the main source of consumption of contaminants, is utterly ridiculous and unacceptable. Your body absorbs up to 40% of all contaminants when exposed directly through your skin. It's not anything to joke about. You know, Carol's playing nice and saying she doesn't want to make any enemies. I could care less. It's the job you guys have been hired to do, is to run our city, and that's to ensure that all hired contractors or utility services are providing what was contracted out to do. There's apparent record, more so than I've been educated thoroughly tonight, thank you, Carol, on the actual documentation, because again, I'm just a guy. I'm just a complaining citizen who's going around in his neighborhood and talking with residences and understanding how many people are having this issue and why hasn't it been addressed in the 50+ years that I've been hearing reports of. It's ridiculous. We have money to spend in a variety of other sectors that don't seem outrageous to certain city officials, and I'm here to say that's utterly incorrect. If we have $15,000 for remote drone shows for defunct companies based out of Indiana that are not in good standing, we certainly have $15,000 for water. Cup and Scone is advertising water for sale. That's ridiculous that it's gotten to that point when we're all paying for water. Think about from a tourism aspect. I know, Kelly, you have mentioned that tourism's on point, and we're not really lacking in that department, and I'm here to say, as a 5-year resident, I've heard ample comments from passerbys on the street that, and I quote, "We are Radiator Springs," which is a reference to the Disney hit movie Cars, in which it's a defunct, rundown town, and it takes a hot-headed, charging little race car to come in and change the town for better. Hopefully, I can be Lightning McQueen. Really, it's gotten to a point where we have to come and waste our time about this. It's something that we all know of. if Cup and Scone is selling water, if Faf's or Faf's Bakery is lead line service, if our public infrastructure such as the swinging bridges don't even have basic maintenance done to them, what are we drawing tourists to our town for?
We're here to talk about the water.
Well, we are talking about the water. I think that pretty much wraps up my comments about the water. Does anybody have any questions for me? No? Okay.
Thank you very much. John?
Bear with me.
Sure.
Well, I am John McClassen. I live at 402 East Payson, and I had the privilege a couple decades ago of being one of you.
Wasn't
So-
that long ago. Was it?
Yeah,
Okay.
I was. Pretty sure. I'm my dotage, I don't know. But I want to start by saying I have not talked to any of you, the mayor, or my council people at all about the water. My information comes from my taste buds and from Facebook. And one of the things that I've gathered from Facebook is that those who have talked to the city or to their councilman have come away with the feeling that the person to whom they're speaking is saying, my water tastes okay, there's nothing we can do about it, and it stops there. And I'm just here to remind you that you're elected to represent us, and you don't get to say, it doesn't taste good, it doesn't taste bad to me. You don't get to say that we can't deal with the state in Illinois American Water. It's your job. And so just please take it seriously. Lots of people are upset about it, enough that you should be demanding answers from the state, from the water company, and you should be contacting our legislators, and don't just pass it off, because it's important to a lot of people. If I had a small baby in my house, I would be quite concerned. And you should feel the same way with children and grandchildren. So thank you very much, just it. Don't let this pass away. People are upset, do something about it. Thank you very much.
Thanks for your time, John.
So I have a couple things just to say there.
Sure.
Just, I have requested a tour of the water plant, so I'll get, I haven't heard back.
I actually took one today.
Okay, good. And Corey responded that he'll do
I'm sure
something.
he'd be happy to have
So
you.
I'd take a look. I mean, we've had a chance to take a walk through the, our own sewer plant, and I'm anxious to see how they measure up to the high standards that we work from.
It does.
Oh, good. And, you know, I moved down here from the suburbs of Chicago 7-8 years ago. Lived in several cities out that way, towns. And we always did get an annual report from, but those were, some of those plants were city-owned and some were private. But at the end of the year, you'd get a report in your water bill that showed the quality of water that they claimed. And I've always been suspicious of my water everywhere, and I think we always should. I mean, it's just one of those things. And as far as grants and those kinds of things, I've looked at some of them online, just like Carol has done. I'm sure they're out there. It seems like that would be something that the water company would be looking at. And so, anyway, that's all I have to say.
Anyone else?
Has anyone here talked to Illinois American?
Yeah, I've spent a couple hours with them today, and Jim has been in regular contact with Corey.
And what have they said?
So to me, they've said, really what Carol said, that it is due to low water, it's an algae issue. EPA says they're within limits on safety on drinking water, and that is an aesthetic issue, can be fixed with carbon filtering. And that they do add more carbon, and their system doesn't catch up right away when it happens.
They have carbon filtration now and are working on, it's in their 1 to 2 year capital plan to replace all the filtration with the carbon filter that they have right now. It's in there. They have, yeah. They're getting 2 readings a day. I mean, the testers are doing things just like we do with the wastewater treatment plant, multiple testing every day. The numbers coming up on the electronic screens all were in line with where they're supposed to be. It's a very complex operation. I mean, similar to wastewater in a different way, but I mean, there's more to it than just water flowing through the pipes.
Yeah, I was going to say, I talked also with Mayor Bloomington. If you read the news, they went through quite an extended period of it due to low water, and they draw their water from Lake Bloomington. And same, I mean, they run their own water, so they're treating it with carbon themselves. And Normal does not draw their water from the same place and did not have the same issue. So
Normal's on a well.
mm-hmm.
Wells have other things that they have to treat and deal with than the river or lake waters. Anybody else? Okay, we'll move on to our next agenda item, which is D, approval of the project budget for the red carpet corridor mural. And this is you, Liz. Liz will be giving us that presentation.
Good evening, Council, Mayor. I did just want to point out very quickly that I do have some items in front of you. As it is the centennial year, we do have lots of things to celebrate, and I just wanted to point out very quickly, the state put together this passport. It's free. It is really cool if you want to take a look through it. Travelers go through and get stamped as they travel along from Chicago to the Chain of Rocks Bridge. We also have our new state byway guide. It's been new, redesigned. We have a fantastic ad in there. It has a great map. Also has places for people to stamp their passports. It's a great way to get people to stop along the way. And then I also wanted to show everyone our VIP program. The VIP program has been happening here since 2008, I believe. It predates my time. It's for Visitor in Pontiac. Visitor picks up this button and this brochure in our museum, and then they can go to all the different locations. There's 19 different participating retailers and restaurants. They wear that, they get a little discount or a giveaway. It's just really a good way to get those visitors to be out and enjoying all the retail establishments and all the food establishments that we have in town, because as we all know, it's ultimately about economic development, so we want people to be out there enjoying what we have to offer. And lastly, I have our red carpet corridor rack card. We have a brochure coming out, but I did want everyone to see this because, as you know, we received a pretty good grant from the state for the Centennial Commission. It was a $110,000 grant for the whole entire red carpet corridor event. With that, there was a whole bunch of redesign that happened. We were able to update the website and the logo. I just wanted everyone to see that. And the reason I really wanted to talk about red carpet corridor is because I wanted to give you guys a little bit of history. So red carpet corridor, I found a lot of this out actually when I was researching the festival itself, and we were working with a marketing company. Back in 2003, predating when the museum even opened, Betty Estes I don't know how many people knew Betty Estes personally left here, but yeah, Betty. So Betty kind of came up with this idea to create a destination marketing initiative. And that's what she called the red carpet. Now, Betty was known for making friends with the gas stations in town. We didn't really have any, places to come, to visit because we didn't even have the museum yet. And she would literally go out there. She kept a red carpet in her car and would go out and roll out the red carpet for buses to get off and go to the bathroom at the gas station. Welcome to Pontiac. She really set the precedence for getting people here and into Pontiac, and welcome. We actually have a red carpet when you walk into the museum that you can see. So I just want to give a little bit of that backstory because the stuff I learned about Betty as I went on, it was really cool. So we had been discussing a mural idea for red carpet. And of course we wanted to have that red carpet mural symbolize the centennial. Obviously, we're marking a huge occasion and it is a big factor, going back to 1926 in Pontiac history. And so as we were tossing around ideas on things, Mother Road, the term coined by John Steinbeck in The Grapes of Wrath, mothers, that's always around Mother's Day red carpet. What else? We have the mother of Pontiac tourism, Betty Estes. And so as these ideas started floating about, we talked with Diaz, and we kind of developed this idea. Of course, they took it took the idea and ran with it. So the bulk of the idea of this mural is to celebrate the Mother Road, but there's also going to be the centennial celebration, dates marked, and then there's going to be tribute to Betty. I should also add that I did discuss this with her daughter, who I know, and of course she was very honored that this was even a potential. And then we also wanted to make it honoring all of the mothers who make all of these trips possible, because, as you know, it's often the mothers that make the trips possible. Anyway, the idea behind this is that there would be this big mural, and then there would be community participation with it, where there would be a way for people that come along and kind of leave a memory. And the idea we thought of was to have flowers to celebrate that, and people, similar to the handprints on the Bob Waldmeyer mural that are along the Rathbun building, this mural would have a way for people to leave their little mark, a little remembrance of their mom, their grandma, mother figure, whoever it may be. So I just want to give you guys a little background on that. I know that you had the quote in your packets. Was there any other questions about that? Oh, I should add location. So what we're planning on is the west side of the museum complex in the alleyway. So the alleyway that would be leading back to Centennial Plaza, it'd be back in there.
Does anyone have any questions?
Liz, is it possible to get an itemized quote on this? What makes up that 20,000? For Joe. Oh, hey, Joe.
Joe?
We could, I guess, do that. What we'd have to do is just let you know what the material costs are and then our labor. That's pretty much it, though. Sometimes we separate the design part as an itemized thing. We could do that. But yeah, that's essentially how we do it. I can definitely do that for you guys.
And where are the funds coming from, Liz?
Yeah, so this would be it's a TIF eligible project, yeah.
Okay.
Public art.
Is this part of the Illinois Arts Council?
This is not.
Not,
no.
okay.
I like the idea, but I think it's an awful lot of money.
Can we run any of that through Heritage Corridor? Is there any?
I attempted to get a grant as part of the red carpet event, and it was not approved.
What's the end, and what's this going to do, this mural? Murals are murals.
Yeah. It'll be a mural on the side, yeah.
Its purpose was kind of trifold. It was, one, celebrating the 100th anniversary, the only opportunity we have to do that. Two, it's an addition to public art. We had initially talked about trying to do like a smaller wall dog reunion, and that wasn't going to happen. So we thought this would be a nice little addition to public art. And then the third part of it was there would be public participation in it, because they would also, the public can come and honor their own mother by stamping a flower on the road. So is to get the citizens here in town involved with it as well.
Carol, did you have a question?
Yeah, I asked this question to a council person about 2 years ago. How do you know that tourism is actually helping our economy, and that the murals are providing effective use of the money? And here's my thing. Okay, I've gone up and down Route 66 my entire life, and I'm 73. Okay, I lived in Dwight, I worked in Joliet, I went to ISU, I came back to Pontiac, and all it was frickin' road. All right, it had weeds everywhere, and it had a lot of cops. All right, I just have a problem, and I would like to register this for people who feel like me, that I just don't think we need another mural. I don't think it's going to bring in more people, because we have, I don't even know how many we have, what, 20 something? Is one more going to be effective? I think there's a lot of people that feel there is a ton of money being poured into tourism, and there has been no survey whether we're losing money on tourism or whether we are actually doing something good. And here's the big thing that needs to be addressed. How many people are going to come to Pontiac, see all our free museums, and then return? Because we have no economic base for them. We don't have the cute popcorn shop. We don't have, the cute gift shops. We have 49 empty buildings around this town right now. And until there is some sort of surveying that we know how many people are tourists coming into this town and how much money they're spending. And the councilman at the time said, well, how could you figure that out? Well, you can figure that out if you have every business write down and say, are you a tourist or do you live here? They spent $39, and you do this maybe 3 times a week for a month, or you do it for 2 months, or you do it once in the summer or once in the winter. You can find out whether this tourism stuff is actually benefiting the town, or are we losing money on it? And I really, if we're going to do this for a road, oh my God, what should we do with a microwave? We need to put a statue to Velcro, It is just getting out of hand that we're going to spend $1.7 million in an alley that wasn't that bad in the first place. I don't even know how you passed that tip thing, because it wasn't falling down or anything like that. And if you needed grass, which we aren't even getting grass, we're getting AstroTurf, we had that whole park that has Block 59 on it. Why do we need more grass there? Then we have Clay Park that we're shutting down now. That had a ton of grass in it. I just wish we would take a different turn on things. And I represent people that I admire your enthusiasm. I admire you're willing to do the work. I think we have enough murals. I think we need to find out how much tourism is actually benefiting us. And I think we need to figure out other ways to spend money on these grants. Thank you.
So Carol, and I'm sure Liz is going to address the volume of business that we attract with tourism here in Pontiac alone. I happen to be on a board of the Heritage Corridor Destination. If you give me your email address, I will send you all the kinds of data that's directly related to Route 66 and the amount of traffic that comes down here and what stops here in Pontiac. and the return on investment that we get here in Pontiac, it actually outstrips some of the other communities down Route 66. So the effort that...
Could you give me one general statement of, wow, tourism is really important in Pontiac?
I can contribute 15% of my business off of that highway.
Okay, I appreciate you.
And I'm a
15%
restaurant that is not
something
in
to
downtown.
sniff at. However, it's not, how much is this town spending to get you 15%? In our taxes, in our workers that have to assist when there's Route 66 caravans, stuff like that. I think that needs to be factored into whatever information you get, because we as taxpayers are paying for these people to provide the security, provide whatever. I think that's the big picture.
Well, I think last year we had over 24,000 people go through the Route 66 museum. Most of them aren't from Pontiac. They come in and not just come in and leave, they spend money. We wouldn't have Wally's out there, we wouldn't have the Hampton out there if it wouldn't be tourism. That's what attracted those businesses to come, because they knew people were coming in. I would not want to get rid of, we get quite a bit of money out of tax money off of those two places alone.
Well, I heard that Wally's liked it because they liked our downtown. Well, I bet you they did like our town, because it's pretty much empty, and that if you want to buy some of that stuff, you got to go to Wally's, because you're not going to find it here.
Back to the subject of the agenda item, the mural. Is there any other questions?
I'd like more information. Can we table it for next meeting by chance? I want more, I want to know what the costs are.
Is that a
before-
motion?
Yeah. I'll motion to table it. We need a motion.
Joe?
One thing I'd like to say is, we do have a deadline to get this project done. And we can't work wonders and get this thing done. We were hoping to get an answer weeks ago on getting this project. We're flexible with the budget. The price really just kind of depends on, the higher the budget, the more detail we can add to the design, the larger the mural can be, that type of stuff. Nothing's set in stone as far as that comes. If the city wants to come to us with, this is what we can afford, this is what we can do, we can work within it, just like we do with any other business in town when they order a sign from us. They give us their budget, what's realistic for them to pay, and we work with that. So it's something we can certainly do. We were really excited about this project because we really wanted to honor not only mothers, but Betty. We thought it would be a good thing for the community. I understand, some people don't see eye to eye on how to do that for our community. It's the only thing I know how to do. I know how to design and make signs. I'm just trying to help. Liz came to us with this idea of creating this, and we're just here to help, but at the same time, we only have so much time to get it done at this particular time, and we don't want to get in a situation where we can't come through, whether we have the money for it or not. So, if we came up with an itemized list on how much an individual part of the aspect would cost, how long can we expect to get an answer back from the city before we have to go ahead and move forward with the project?
Well, if it has to be a council vote, we don't meet again for 2 more weeks. If the council's pleasure was to establish a budget amount that you felt comfortable allowing, we approve that budget, and then Joe has to stay within it. Is that an accurate statement?
Correct, yeah. Yeah, the point was for Red Carpet Corridor was first weekend in May.
So you said it's a TIF eligible project under the auspice of public art, correct? Do we have a portion of TIF that is set aside specifically for public art? Or does it take from a general TIF fund?
Correct, yeah, it's TIF
It's a
is
pool of money.
one big, yeah.
Okay.
I'm sure it was probably factored into our budget.
Oh, yes, for sure, yeah.
Getting off the subject of the money part of it, what storyline, would there be a storyline of any kind about Betty or anything like that?
In what way? Like on the mural?
Yeah.
I mean, we have some like verbiage that we might put, like Betty Estes, mother of Pontiac tourism. I don't think there would be like words on there about it, yeah. Other than that. Is that what you meant? I'm sorry.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, go ahead.
Well, so yeah, I have a rough sketch started. It does have a picture of her from the shoulders up. I've got two variations where she's looking forward and one where she's a portrait, or what do you call it? Profile angle of her. The text beside her would say something along the lines of Betty Estes and then mother of Pontiac tourism. That's the aspect that would kind of involve her. The larger bit of the text would be the Mother Road. And then there's always a possibility to add a companion plaque beside the mural. That could be just thrown into the project because those are, compared to the cost of the entire mural, is not a huge deal. But that could be where you could put additional text if you needed to, explaining why she's the mother of Pontiac tourism. But yeah, I know we've done those side panels before with the QR codes.
Yeah, we also have the story app for those of you that if you've walked around, you'll see the signs that you scan the QR code. And then it's also on our website as well that people can do a virtual tour. And then we also have a section on our website that has pictures of all of our murals and tells just a little bit about them as well.
And I think that the whole purpose, after we did the large shield on the back of the museum that got so much attention, and then the year following we did the Wall Dog event, the whole goal of that was to create some sort of walking tour for tourists so that when they get out of the bus at the museum, they don't just hang out at the museum. They hopefully walk around the downtown and see what else we have to offer. That was kind of the original strategy. And so I just think this mural and, you know, potential public art projects in the future just kind of helps strengthen that.
The location again is?
The west side of the Pontiac Museum complex. Mm-hmm.
Okay, Sarah made a motion to table. Then there was more question. There was no second on that?
I mean, if we could talk about the budget then. Give it, I know you need to know, Joe, I'm sorry. Like, is it possible?
I don't have my pricing software in front of me right now. I wasn't expecting
Well, I mean,
it, I can't tell you how much the metal costs currently.
But could you make the deadline?
But if we
take 2 weeks to.
take 2 weeks, look at it, is it possible?
I know it's hard.
Yeah, I guess that's what we gotta do.
Y'all are hardlining something that hasn't even been discussed. Someone's just randomly bringing up a mural project, which honestly, murals are good for our town. It's a tourist attraction. But you guys are like, oh, the deadline's coming. We have to vote on this now or.
Everything has its spot. Everything has its place. Everything that we talk about has different priorities, and it's just, everything has a spot. This has nothing, this is not related to your water issues. It's not related to your street issues. It's related to what we're doing for our tourism. We have numerous items that we talk about here every week.
I'm not offended at all. I've been on.
No, hey, staff has been working on this project since last year. So.
I'm not upset at all. I mean, I've been on boards before. I understand, and I get, I totally understand. I'm just also expressing our concern with the workload.
The timeline.
I don't know if you guys know, but my parents are like partway retired at this point in time, so we're kind of understaffed. We also have a large mural project for Normal, Illinois that we're also trying to fit in with all this, in addition to our existing work that we currently have. So we're just trying to get all this stuff done. That's my only worry is that aspect of it. So
Ultimately, from the question of the timing, though, I mean, yes, it would probably affect red carpet corridor, but that's what it would affect.
We haven't advertised that we're going to have a new mural for Red Carpet Corridor, have we?
There was a community project in there, but it's because it had gone back and forth as to what it was going to be.
Right.
I think the purpose of, I know Joe does really good work, and I love the artwork we have around town and everything. It's just the costs that I want more information on for something like this, so.
I think I have to agree with Sarah. You listen, Betty was like a second mom to me, but yeah, we really gotta discuss what our budget should be for it and what all it is actually gonna entail. I mean, etched in stone.
So
We have a
you're
lot of
seconding
ideas.
Sarah's motion to
Yeah.
table and take it to committee
Yeah.
for further discussion or get more information?
Get more information.
And discuss, yeah,
Okay,
more time.
so roll call, please. This would be to agree to table.
Causer,
Yes.
A. Horner,
Yes.
Ringbolt,
Yes.
Howard,
Yes.
Willie,
Yes.
Joe Vanini,
Yes.
Barr,
Yes.
Gill,
Yes.
S. Horner.
Yes.
Okay.
Thanks,
Okay.
council.
Thanks for your work, Liz.
Okay, item E, approval of the demolition at 116 West Howard Street.
Yes, so in this project, we've been talking about that building for some time since we've made the purchase of it, with the hopes of rehabilitating it or determining what could happen with it. We've had Bill Abraham come through, and it's been looked at, and it does not appear as though this building is savable. And right now, Apple is doing the work back there, and they've told us that as they've been moving around equipment, that building shakes, and if you see it, it's cracked around. So we got an estimate from Apple, the pricing for the demolition work. The concern is, it does butt up against the Bertram's building there, so there's gonna have to be some handwork involved with it. You can't just take machinery and knock it down. That would be $22,949. The reason why we only have Apple is because the rest of that area is in their construction area now. And so, again, the concern is, while they're working back there, we don't want it to collapse. And since they're already back there doing it, this would be a request for sole source. It doesn't meet the 25,000 bid requirement, but we would still ask for the approval of the council at a 2/3 vote.
Any questions? Barb?
Time frame.
They would be ready right away. They're already working back there.
Okay, and then it said that there was more to be spent for utility disconnect charges. Is that correct?
So
At the bottom?
there's no utility in that building, and so
I think Mark just put that in case that were to come up. But
Yeah.
with what's there now, it's not gonna be an issue for us.
Yeah, I wasn't sure if there was or not, but I just had that question
I think-
since
I
that
think
was
he-
at the
he put
bottom of
that-
the quote.
He put that in there
Okay,
just in case, but there was some concern with the gas meter, but that can be protected. And
okay,
Micro didn't feel it needed to be removed.
okay, thanks.
the meters are back behind that building, and so they have to be moved to the Bertram building.
Okay,
It feeds Bertram, and then there's another meter that feeds Visitor Center, right? That's a Visitor Center. Yeah.
And that's included in this cost?
So no, this cost is,
There won't be a cost.
yeah, there won't be a cost for moving the meters from NICOR. This cost is really just demolition of the building. Yeah.
That building has a basement?
It does have a small basement that has to be filled in.
They're gonna just implode the building into the basement?
Makes sense?
Yeah. Huh?
They're not gonna bury it in the basement.
Chris says no.
I'm sorry.
Chris says no.
They're not going to, no.
Any other questions?
I'd make a motion, please.
Motion by Barr,
I'll second.
second by John Willie. Roll call, please.
A. Horner,
Yes.
Rainbow,
Yes.
Howard,
Yes.
Willie,
Yes.
Joe Vanini,
Yes.
Barr,
Yes.
Gill,
Yes.
S. Horner,
Yes.
Causer.
Yes.
Okay.
Thank you. Item F, approval of the city credit card agreement with First Financial Bank.
So we currently have a corporate card with First Financial Bank. They're ending their relationship with the current company that they use, and they now are going to offer their own corporate credit card in-house to us. And to switch over to that system requires the organization have a resolution and agreement. If you have that in front of you, it's the third page. Requires the council to approve of that. And so our corporate credit card, the way it works is anything that's charged on it, we pay month to month. We don't have outstanding rollover balances or anything like that. It's just paid. And so each department has a card or several cards for those things that we're not able to write checks on. So that typically, month to month is roughly in the $20,000 range.
Does anybody have any questions on that? If not, I would entertain a motion. Motion by Joe Rainbolt, second by John Willie. Roll call, please.
Rainbow,
Yes.
Howard,
Yes.
Willie,
Yes.
Joe Vanini,
Yes.
Barr,
Yes.
Gill,
Yes.
S. Horner,
Yes.
Causer,
Yes.
A. Horner.
Yes.
Thank you. Item G is approval of the ambulance substation bid, and Jim?
Yep, so last week, the ambulance substation bid came out. That is the second page of your tab. The low bidder was Building Systems of Illinois. Their bid was $2,427,500. Looking at the budget, the site work was budgeted at $250,000. The construction was $1,450,000. That budget also, it's also included in it's the backside of the bids. It's also included in there as well. It had contingencies and miscellaneous in there. That total was $1,835,414. So this low bid is in excess of $592,086 in excess of the overall budget. I also included where the funding for this project is coming from. Humison Trust is funding $1,500,000 of the project. Foreign Fire Tax Board is $50,000, and we have a federal grant of $500,000. Initially, our city budget was going to be $268,704. We then had that additional, if you remember a few weeks back, we had the additional agreement with Farnsworth for them to complete the rest of when we switched from a bid build to design build to a design bid build. When we switched that over, and then to oversee all the submittals and everything else with the project, that was the $44,800. That happened in February. If we accept the low bid, the city's share then is $905,590. And what that then would not, actually would be more than that, because we wouldn't, if we did just that, contingencies would not be included, so we would need probably 5% in addition to that for contingencies.
So Jim and I discussed moving this to Finance Council for further discussion about the financing that we will need to make. And because we haven't really had an opportunity, because the budget is so much higher than what we anticipated, that, let's get all of that in order before we make the final vote is.
So this Wednesday, move it to that?
This would be Wednesday, yes. Or, well, no, we talked about committee of the whole next
Yeah, right.
Monday,
Committee-
when
yeah.
everybody
Oh,
was here.
okay.
Right.
When everybody could be, as, or, with the whole committee. That's right, forgot that.
Okay.
Do we need a motion, or do we just,
No, I could just stick it on the committee of the whole agenda.
okay? We just want to be organized with it and make sure everybody understands everything before. Okay, item H, ordinance 2026-010, amending the Pontiac Municipal Code, Chapter 10, Business, New Business License.
Hello again, council. We spoke, I believe it was in a February council meeting about business licensing, and we ended up having some discussion, and we went back to committee, and our resolution was that we would modify our current business licensing procedure to require business registration of new businesses, change of business, change of owner, change of use, and we would not charge a fee for that. And here is the proposed amendment to the code. And I'm here for questions if we have them.
Any questions, anyone?
It's pretty much put together with all of our objections, and we've gotten past that.
I would need a motion.
I'll motion.
Motion by Anna Horner, second. By Joe Rainbolt. Roll call, please.
Howard,
Yes.
Willie,
Yes.
Jovanini,
Yes.
Barr,
Yes.
Gill,
Yes.
S. Horner,
Yes.
Causer,
Yes.
A. Horner,
Yes.
Rainbolt.
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you, council.
Thanks. Okay, under mayor comments, first off, I would like to commend the fire department and in particular Lieutenant John for his actions at a fire yesterday, I believe, that occurred at the St. James Place on Water Street, for those who may not know. I don't know a whole lot about the details, but that could have been really somewhat disastrous for us, the loss of many housing units in our community if things hadn't gone the way they did. So great job to all the fire people who were on duty and the staff. I mean, as always, you all do a great job in keeping us safe in our city with fire. So thank you for that. Just a short update on the Central Illinois Land Bank that we have become involved with. Just this last week, I signed off along with the other 14 mayors on the land bank group for a request for general revenue funding of $2 million from the state of Illinois to the land bank to hope for Mike Davis, the director, I guess you could, I'm not sure what his official title is, but he and many of us in the cities involved in the bank have been meeting with our local legislators and working on some help to get that. So hopefully that letter went off a couple days ago to the governor's office, and so hopefully we get some action. Who knows how quickly, but that took place. We will have a committee meeting of every committee this month, and I believe committee notices went out this afternoon for Wednesday's finance and community services. And then next Monday, committee of the whole to begin more conversation about the downtown streetscape project and where we're going to go with that, hopefully somewhere. And then we'll add on the fire substation to that. And then Tuesday, the 21st for infrastructure and public properties. And I'm sure Fawn will get those out soon, but just wanted to give everybody a heads up on that. So that's all for my comments. City council comments. Barb?
Yeah, I'm doing a follow-up I gave these to all the city council members and most of the audience, the members that are out there, citizens. It's an update on, we did the park surveys last summer. We put a lot of time and effort into it. Everybody went out and surveyed all the 10 parks. And this is the results of the positive, which Pontiac really needs, it seems, about the parks, the rec center, the pool visits, the rounds of golf, people that have been to the complex, both the recreation park out south of town, I think one of the big numbers is the over 12,000 people that have estimated attendees at our special events. And I think that speaks highly of the usage. Also, over 81,000 visits to the community rec center. So, and then 2 million plus Facebook views for the Parks and Rec. So anyway, just want to let y'all know the update on that, and if there's anything more. This was the first one that's been done for probably 3 years. So, but I want everybody to have an update of what we've gone through for the survey. So thank you all very much.
Anyone else? Okay, city administrator comments.
None.
Public comments. Anyone else?
I just have one small comment. Hey, this is unrelated to any of the other issues I spoke on earlier, and I'll apologize for my interjection there. I'll wait till public comments next time. Something's got to be done about the cemetery and the way that they handle and desecrate the graves. I'm sure you got my picture.
I did get your picture.
It's not acceptable in any manner to drive an ATV over anyone's grave at all. If the supervisor can't have a list of workers to go out there, compact graves if that's what's required, using manpower and a tamper, then certainly we can use a garden compacting roller, certainly not an ATV. That's all I have to say.
Thank you for your comments. Carol?
You talked to Illinois American Water today, right?
Yes, I was
Okay.
there today.
So was there a discussion about long-term smell and taste of the water? Did you come to a conclusion with them of how this can be eliminated?
I did not. I mean, they are replacing their carbon filter, like I said, in 1 to 2 years. But they've had, they have need to use a carbon filter, and based on my knowledge, that's a pretty standard piece of equipment in water treatment. We're not the only facility that has a carbon filter. It's actually a very large piece of equipment. And, but that's how they manage. But like you said, dead end road, where there's not water running, there's more likelihood because water sits in the pipes, and that really is hard to control because, uses run the water.
Do you think you were talking to the important people of American Water? Like, do you think you need to call Champaign and say, we need your upper echelon of people to register this complaint?
I mean, personally, I'm not speaking for anyone else in the room because we haven't had conversation, but I believe Corey is well-trained. He's been in the water industry for 25 years or more, and the operators that are in the plant every day, it's manned 24 hours a day. Someone is consistently testing the water. They are monitoring all the systems. They showed me everything they're doing every day, and I walked through all of the operation. I mean, I don't know much I know more about wastewater treatment. I think we all probably do because I've been out there and done tours many times, and we've gotten so many, because we operate the wastewater, we've had many times where we've had to get a lot of knowledge about that.
Well, I guess what I'm really saying is it sounds pretty simple to have a core of the city council meet with, maybe go to Champaign and meet with their important people and say, hey, this is unacceptable. What can you do for us? I get the carbon filter will probably help to, some degree, but I think if the Champaign supervisor said, this is how you'll get some action, I think that needs to be made a motion, and I think we need to follow through, because it's a pretty, even if you don't want to go there, just call them up and say, hey, this is a problem in our town.
Okay, thank you. Any other public comment? Okay, we have need for executive session for personnel and collective negotiating matters, and so there will be no action after that.
Correct.
So I need a motion to go into executive session. Motion by Barb, second by John. Any roll call on that? I can't.
Voice votes, huh?
Voice, everyone in favor of that?
You need to have a roll call.
Oh, roll call, I'm sorry. Roll call, please, Kelsey.
Willie,
Yes.
Joe Vanini,
I'm sorry, I always get in the way.
Barr,
Yes.
Gill,
Yes.
S. Horner,
Yes.
Causer,
Yes.
A. Horner.
Yes.
Rainbow,
Yes.
Howard.
Yes.
Okay.
Okay, thank you.